So, welcome to Silent Sales Machine. I'm your host, Jim Cockrum, and today I've got Mr. Ryan Reger, one of the good friends of the community who does a lot of work around here. You've seen him as a guest host, even from time to time. One of the guys that helps make this show so awesome. And he and his family, just beautiful. The story behind how we met is awesome. I don't know if we'll dive into that a whole lot today, but it was just one of those divine appointments. And we've been
Absolutely.
close friends for a long time. How long ago was that? It's been
It was
like
2012,
12. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we've 8, 9 years coming up. Man, that's
almost
just,
9 years.
yeah, time
Yeah,
flies. But
it
you've been
does.
a pillar around here helping make this community awesome for a long time. And you run the Legends group, which is what we're going to dive
Yeah.
into today. So I think I'm
Yes.
going to turn it over to you, and I may have a few questions for you as you go, but we haven't talked specifically about the Legends group in quite
Mhm.
some time. It
Right.
comes up referenced on the side here and there from time to time on the show,
Mhm.
but fill us in. What's been going on in there? Who's
Yeah.
in there and who's it for? Just tell us some stories.
Sure. Whenever Jim people ask what is Legends, it's like it's kind of hard to pinpoint it sometimes. It is a community, and if you're listening to this, you're probably inside the MST community, and that's a group of 63,000 people, I think now.
Yeah, that's our big free
Um,
Facebook group, right?
yes.
silentjim.com. Jump in if you're not in there yet. It's the best place you can hang out on Facebook. As far as it's
Absolutely.
free for sure.
Totally agree with that.
Yep.
But as you mentioned, and you even say this, it can be chaotic in there. It's
Yeah.
a lot going on. You guys could totally jump in there and learn a ton and never have to buy a single thing. And Jim doesn't mind me saying that
That's true.
because he loves to serve. But at some point, you may feel like, I'm ready to go deeper. I need to learn more. And that's why we have all these other options. And you got the Proven Amazon course, which you need to get. But the Legends group, we call it a family, Jim, and that might sound weird. And as somebody even said, you may not want to call it a family because not everybody has it. They have that weird uncle and all that, and they may think that there's weird people in there. And yeah, I'm sure there's some weird people in our group, but
Sure.
me included. No, Legends is a family. It really is a family feel. There's only a few hundred of us, and we're all geared toward, and it's what you've ingrained in me over the years. We are here for success stories. It's just a highly concentrated group of sellers who are all helping each other out. So imagine the MST community, but liken that to a mega church. Ours is,
Mhm.
the small country church that you go to. There's only a few hundred of us in there, but we're all headed the same direction. One thing I think that separates it is that we have what we call a success path. So when people come into some communities, it's like, where do I begin? It's very confusing. Overwhelm sets in. And so one thing that we have implemented over the last few months is what we call the success path, which helps people figure out where they are in their journey. It's very specific. If you've hit this level, and it's not about sales numbers, because you and I both know that there are people who are like Jimmy Smith that are doing 100,000 plus per month, and there's people like me who are, I would say, just as successful, but my sales are nowhere near Jimmy's, and I don't even care to have that size of a business. So I looked at all of the people in our groups and what makes them quote successful, or what would cause somebody to quote graduate into the next level. And it's things like sourcing and shipping consistently, knowing how to read a keep a graph. They know their numbers. They're starting to outsource. They're starting to think about other streams of income as they get into those higher levels. So we have a defined success path where somebody can jump in and say, I'm at this level. And so then because of that, I need to look at this content. So it helps them cut through the clutter and not be overwhelmed. We have a lot of material in there, and it can still be overwhelming if you're not careful, but we help people focus on the level that they're at and help them. We walk them, through the material. It's a kind of a large accountability group, if you will, where we
Sure.
help people figure out where you at, what do you need to do to move forward, and we help them do that. And we have tons of perks. We can talk about some of those that
Yeah.
we've put in there
I
to help
mean, we
people
could
out, but that's the
yeah,
gist
we
of it.
could feature dump for 45 minutes. I mean, you guys
Oh,
really
sure.
have put a whole lot of stuff in there, but I think the point is that you just made is how organized it is
Yeah.
and how focused it is too on mostly Amazon. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
but I think that's kind of how it's developed. I mean, there's a lot of other success stories in there from a lot of other angles, but
Sure.
primarily you've kind of captured the best of our Amazon content and you walk people down a predictable, proven path. And it's a small family feel. I love the church analogy too, because the mega church has its place, and the big where you can kind of go in and blend in and see if this is for me or not. But you go into Legends, if you speak up at all, people are going to know who you are. You're going to get to know these people. You guys have your events.
Yeah.
You get together very often, and you'll bring a bunch of faces on the screen, and it just has more of that social feel that we can't quite pull off with 63,000 people in our bigger group. And that bigger group has its purpose, and I love it. And that's where I spend most of my time. We answer a lot of newbie questions constantly in there. And you're ready to kind of step out of the noise. That's where we start offering these other options. One of which is Legends. And maybe we'll contrast that a little bit in a minute with coaching. Like, what's the difference between Legends, the group kind of experience and the accountability and then relationships, versus a one-on-one coach, and who should do which, and other people who should do both? Maybe we can talk about some of that. But
absolutely,
I think the best illustration that we can make is the one that you just did, is, step out of the noise, get on a path. Do you know how to do this yet? If not, well, you're at this level. Let's get you trained. And then, are you ready to do this now? Yeah. Okay. Let's step you through the process. But what I'd like to do before we start contrasting coaching and Legends is, tell us some stories. Tell us some about some of the people who were in there, some of the leaders, maybe even. And a lot of them are people that the listeners to this podcast have heard on this show before, and they may not realize these are some of the really cool leaders in that group.
Yeah, they really are. So we started something called, you're a sports fan, so you're familiar like with the Hall of Fames of the different, pro sports. And so we started a Legends Hall of Freedom. And, Jim, it just comes back to what you always say, bringing dads home. And so we wanted to highlight the people who are coming home from their jobs, that have been able to quit their job and do this full time. And so we've got a growing list of people. We have their faces prominent on, and I know there's way more in our group than are even featured. Some of them are, I guess, shy and don't want to be known. But we got about 20 people on this Legends Hall of Freedom that are doing this full time. People like Honey Woods, people like Kate Chaddock, Tasha and Aaron Pertalski, Christy Hertzler. These are all folks that are able to be at home. They're able to be with their families and do this Amazon business full time. Tasha and Aaron, for example, just looking at one of their success posts from November of 2020, they are up 395% from their that same time in 2019. So the 2020 versus 2019, 395% increase. And I know that's not unique just to Legends. It's not just because of Legends. I'm sure they attributed a lot to it, but we have people in an MST group that have the exact same type of success, where 2020 was a great year for them, and the rest of the world was hurting, yet folks in our community had some of the best success that they've ever had, and we're just thankful for that. Paul Ivan, for example, first 1 million in sales in a calendar year, and he posted that in October 2020. Another one that's in our Hall of Freedom, Dennis Jordan from Oklahoma. And then what's cool about this, Jim, is I know these people. I know them in not, we don't know all the 63,000 people that are in the MST group. We'd love to, but it's just not possible.
That's right.
With this group, I know these people, and I've met most of them. Dennis and his wife, they were 100,000 in sales for the first time in December of 2020. Sold 19,000 products for the year. So that's just a taste. I could go on and on and on. Neil Stevens in the UK, he's one of our most successful students in the UK. Also a very a leader in the MST group. 100,000 pounds in sales from January to, that was January of 2020. 100,000 pounds in sales.
Neil sells primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember for sure. I think most of his business is in the UK, right?
It is.
Yeah,
he is on,
he's one of them that,
I don't believe he sells on Amazon.com.
Yeah. We have a lot of students that around the world who sell in the US, and they source and use a prep center. But Neil's actually in the UK and just sticking with UK Amazon and doing great. I love his story. A lot of those names are people that I recognize. They've been guests on this show. And
oh yeah, definitely.
They've kind of risen up over time.
We have folks in Canada. We have folks that are, Ryan Robinson, for example, is starting to, he's starting to sell more. You said Legends is mostly Amazon, and that is true. The focus is there's a lot of Amazon, but we have a Walmart course in there. We have an outsourcing course in there. We have a Know Your Numbers course in there within the Legends group, and we have folks that are really killing it on Walmart now. So we're excited about that. We've got, people selling in Canada, people expanding to Canada. Adam Wilson, our mutual friend, is in New York and is doing really well on alternate platforms and Amazon Canada. So lots happening.
Yeah, it branches off into so many opportunities. And one of the opportunities that we haven't really ever highlighted before is there's a bit of an almost invisible career path in this community where if you step in and start succeeding with one of the models that we teach around here, there's a leadership path for you where you can
Absolutely
coach those who are behind you. You can jump into leadership.
Yes.
Maybe it's in the Legends. Maybe you become a coach for us. Maybe you create some content for us and we test it out and then roll it out big to the rest of the community. All kinds of opportunities here. And this is one of them. But, to go back again to the church analogy, there's something really powerful. We hear it all the time that business is about relationships. It's hard to develop close relationships in a crowd. That's one of the most lonely places you can find yourself is in a crowd, actually. But you get into a smaller group where you're seeing a lot of the same names, same faces, and you're starting to develop these relationships, even over social media. Those kind of merge out into real life relationships where suddenly you've found those handful of people that you can do this business with. And I think that's one of the more valuable things about Legends is I've seen these really close, tight-knit mini communities form that you and I aren't even a part of, and maybe not anyone else in leadership is even a part of it, but they're on a Zoom call once a week, every Wednesday after dinner. Kids, or gather around or either, put them to bed and then we get together. It's just the six of us. And it's been that way for a while. And these are the kind of groups, the Legends is where those kind of groups can form.
That's right.
Because, and it also has a very common, everyone's welcome, anyone's welcome to any of our groups anytime, obviously. But we're unapologetically Bible-based, meaning we don't go anti-biblical in anything that we teach. You don't have to bring your Bible like you come into a Bible study when we educate you, but you're going to hear stuff that's grounded in biblical truth because the Bible has a lot to say about business. And to the degree that I'm unapologetic about that, I've definitely detected a sense that, Legends is even more so, to the point where you shared with me, for example, in some of your group meetings in there, if someone has a prayer request, hey, you're going to pray for them, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have what's called a Legends Care Group. The church that we go to, they have home groups, and instead of calling them home groups, they call them care groups. And so I just felt led to take that same concept and move it into our Legends group. And once a month, it's me and Christy Hertzler. We get on a Zoom meeting. It's literally, there's no agenda whatsoever. We just get on and say, hey, who's here? How can we help you out? What's going on in your business? And we take questions of business. Most of the time it's business, but we've very, very often had people come and talk about some very serious things going on in our lives and just ask for prayer. Because, there's folks that just may not get that, may not feel comfortable going to church, don't go to church. They feel like this is a safe place. And I am thrilled and honored that we can provide that for folks. And, it's fun. It's fun serving in that way and going, because man, if you're having trouble with your marriage, that's going to affect your business. And so we prayed for people's marriages and kids. And it's so cool to go beyond just Amazon. And, it's so unimportant compared to some of these other things going on in folks' lives. And if I can be of help to them in that, it's my honor.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So there's an intimacy there, I think is another word we could use. We've never necessarily used before, but there's definitely a step up in the whole intimacy, the relationship focus, going from the big group, the 63,000, or maybe you're just on our email list and all you ever see is, very impersonal emails from us. Get into our bigger Facebook group, get a feel for that. We have a lot of people who just can't stand Facebook. They don't like Facebook at all, but they're there just because of our big group. For now, that's where we are. Maybe we'll go somewhere else someday, but for now, if you can put up with Facebook just a little bit, hang out in our group. We really do work hard. Ryan, I just posted, I don't know if you saw a couple of days ago, a post in the group where it showed the last month of statistics in our big MST Facebook group, which again, there's a link at silentjim.com to jump in. And before I tell this story, let's give a couple links for Legends. There's a trial link, right? It's provenamazoncourse.com/Legends trial, right? Two words squished together, Legends trial. provenamazoncourse.com/Legends trial. That's $1 for for a full month, right?
30 days. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you're ready to go and just jump in, it's provenamazoncourse.com/legends. And we'll stick this in the show notes too.
Yep.
But the reason I'm telling the story is in the bigger group, we have any given month, over 1,000 plus people wanting to join.
Yeah.
But we keep out the clowns. We call them the clowns and the spammers,
Right.
and that's a lot of work, and it's a lot of new people coming in. But we do keep that theme of positivity and information, and it's very business focused. We used to allow, for example, when we were small, and there's a couple thousand of us in the big group, someone's birthday, someone's wedding anniversary. Hey, man, let's celebrate. Let's all jump in. But now if we did that, that's like 33 birthdays a day.
Right. Right.
That's missing a lot of them. So like we simply can't do it. And I remember that was kind of painful when we stopped doing that. A big church can't announce on a Sunday with a crowd of 20,000 people there. It's like, hey, we're celebrating this person's birthday today. This random person in the community. Like, you can't do that anymore. It's kind of starts to feel a little impersonal. We recognize that. That's why we started doing legends. But even in our big group, there's a theme. There's a gentle theme of this is what we're about. This is what we believe. This is who we are. Culture has kind of been established. But in legends, it's a tighter fit target. You guys have almost developed a separate culture within that bigger culture. And I think that would really appeal to some people is get in there, build some relationships with people who have a lot of things in common. And this is kind of putting you on the spot, Ryan, but what words come to mind when we say what culture has been developed in the Legends group?
Oh man,
what words float to the top? And I could help a little bit with it.
Sure.
Because
really honestly,
it's not like we architected this thing.
Yeah, no, it was all organic. I would say the one word that comes to mind every single time when we do a survey of why people are in the group, you think obviously the community, the content, the perks that we have. It's the word family. It really is a family.
It was top of my mind too.
That's the word. And I know that might sound hokey to somebody who's not in the group. Like, I don't want to join a family. I just want to learn how to build my business. But I'd say come in, and we have that. And you don't have to be a part of the family atmosphere of it. But for most people, that's their favorite piece of it because they feel like these are my people. These are people that get it. I can come into this group and talk to them about, my label printer not working and, my people in my other job or whatever just don't get it. But these people get me. It's the family that you want to hang out with, because you might always have family that you're like, I hope that person might not show up at our family reunion because he's the weird one. And again,
not always a positive connotation around family these days, right? But it should be.
It's a positive family relationship. Yeah. We throw the word out there, love, because we do care for the people in there and it shows and people are thriving. So at least the people that have been in the longest, they stick around. So we must be doing something right.
Yeah. I think another word that comes to mind for the culture that is success, which it's sad, but it's kind of true that if you go around talking about how successful your business is and just the general public, you're the bad guy. You're like, well, how are you conning people to make all that money? Well, success is it's encouraged, it's celebrated, it's cheered. People know how much work, sweat, tears went into doing what you're doing, and they appreciate it, and they're going to applaud your success. And that holds true across all our communities. But when you really know the people intimately that you're celebrating with, here's a story, and I think I've shared it before, but it feels like it fits well here that Daniel Lappin shares when he talks about one of the ways our culture has kind of denigrated what it means to be in business and to succeed in business is that old show from the 90s. You remember Friends, Ryan? The show, right? Of course. So it's like one of the negative messages we took away from that as a culture. It reinforced this idea that the really good stuff of life happens when you're done with your work, when you've put it away for the day, and now you're hanging out with the people that you really love.
Right.
Business is where you go to deal with a stupid boss who doesn't understand you and makes you do things you don't want to really do. And that's what business is. But your friends are the people you hang out after. When in reality, you look at a group like Legends and you see you guys interact. And I've been to a couple of your events and I had the pleasure to speak when you guys all gather. And it's the relationships there are deeper than the quote, weekend friends.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
you're doing life together. You're raising
Right.
kids. You're
Mm-hmm.
talking about marriage issues. You're
Yeah.
celebrating each other's major achievements, and those are the way tighter relationships built around business achievement
Mm-hmm.
than versus the you know what did the group of friends on the show in the 90s actually ever accomplish or have in common? Is just like kind of random silliness, and we're like, oh, that's what it means to have friends. No, friends are people you're building something significant with,
Yeah.
building your family, building your business, doing things,
Right.
making mistakes together even, and getting in
Mm-hmm.
the trenches. So some of the most valuable relationships you can ever have will come from business. That's the whole reason business exists. If you understand, and you've heard us talk about
Right.
that before, it's not that relationships are some side spin-off benefit of business.
Mm-hmm.
No, business exists in order to establish healthy relationships.
That's right.
That's what the whole purpose of it. And
Yep.
we're not to dive off too deep in that direction, but
But we could.
yeah, we certainly could. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
favorite topic of mine for sure.
Yes.
But so I think we've kind of identified the culture of it, maybe
Yeah.
who it's for. Let's contrast it a little bit with coaching. If someone's scratching their head going, okay, well, I was
Sure.
thinking about being a coaching student, or maybe I already am a coaching student,
Yeah.
or I'm already a Legends member, and I'm wondering, maybe should I be doing coaching? Let's talk to that person a little bit. And I can't say we've got a magic switch that like, hey, flip this button if this is you, flip it here if it's not, but
Right.
let's just help people process that. What comes to mind when I introduce that topic?
Yeah, sure. Well, I was thinking about this. There's an analogy I could think of, and maybe you could see if this resonates with you. But imagine you're a tourist in a town you've never been before. I think of Legends as being where you go to the welcome center, you get a map, and a very good map that shows you where to go. And as you're on your route, there's signs pointing that you're giving you confirmation that you're on the right path. You're doing it on your own. But at any point, there's all these people around you that you can ask to make sure you're going the right way, and they're friendly and they're helpful, and they're saying, "Yeah, that's the way to get to where you want to go. That's the way to that monument or whatever." I feel like that's Legends. I feel like coaching would be like you go to the welcome center, and there's somebody you're assigned a personal guide that kind of essentially holds your hand and walks you to exactly where you want to go. That's the first thing that came to me. I don't know if that sounds stupid
No,
or
I,
not, but
I
that's
like
what
the analogy.
I see.
I like, do you want the group tour or do you want an individual,
Yeah.
But
Individual
one of the
experience.
cool things, it's not that the group tour is a bunch of people who are in exactly your position. Some of them have been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have been there, actually live there, and they just enjoy
Right.
hanging out, with,
Yes.
with the new people who are checking the place out. Yeah, that's a great analogy, actually. And there's no reason you can't do both.
Sure.
Check out Legends for a while.
Totally can.
It's a monthly pay program right now. It's just under $200 a month. Drop out
Mhm.
anytime you want. Check it out
Sure.
for a month. Get in there and devour the content. If that's your thing, you just want to get in and get the good content and get out. Hey, that's fine. But
Yeah.
some people, it turns into, we've got people who've been members now, for years.
Oh yeah. We started in December of 2016, and there's several members that are still around from there.
Yeah. But it maintains that intimate feel, because not everybody comes in and goes, yeah, I'm going to be here for 4 years. Some people get
Right.
in, get what they need, build a few really healthy, solid relationships, and kind of
Mhm.
move on and say, hey, instead of relying on Legends to meet every week, let's just get our own little thing going. And how about the 6 of us meet? And then they might cancel out. And that's
Sure.
fine. We don't try to talk you out of dropping out if it's run its course for you.
Mhm.
But it's a good way to get in there and meet people who you're going to have a lot in common with, and
Yeah.
culture is going to resonate with you. I think just the way we've kind of described it,
Mhm.
that's going to tell some people, it's not for me. And others like, I wouldn't mind checking that out. I can see value in that sort of thing, especially
Yeah.
right now, the way our culture is, or we've been so isolated. I mean, we go out in public and you got to put on a hazmat suit. You don't even get to see people smile anymore, basically,
Right.
like, where are you getting your socialization? That's a very important part of, being a healthy human, seeing smiling faces and interacting. And it's not the same when it's on a computer screen, but it beats nothing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I might even say adding on to coaching, that guy may even be on a golf cart. So you might even get there faster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Instead of walking all day.
Yeah, you're not having to walk. I mean, you're going to get out and walk and see the sights, but you're going to get back in the golf cart and you're going to get to the
And you
next.
don't have to see the parts of the tour that you already saw and you're not interested in. Like, I don't need to see the pottery. I'm not into the pottery stuff. I just want
It's
to get right to the
individualized. Yep.
jewelry, right? Like, okay, let's go. I can
Exactly.
take you
Yeah.
right there.
And if you're the type of person who needs that, not every coach is like maybe a high school football coach that's going to. We have some coaches that are built that way, but like as far as their personality, if you need you need that person to say, Ryan, last week you said you were going to do this. You didn't do this. What's going on? Are you serious about this?
Mhm.
In your face type of person. You need that motivation, to kick in the rear. A coach might be good for you for that. We do
Yeah.
have some accountability in Legends. We got accountability groups, but it's group. There's not the one-on-one interaction. I mean, certainly you have to PM of one of our moderators or me. I'm glad to help, but it's not the same level. You're getting on with a coach every single week for an hour or so, and you
Yeah.
always have that coach available at any time you need something. You can ping that coach, and they're there for you. That's a different level of service.
Yeah, absolutely. And the price is different accordingly,
Sure.
right? I mean, it's a multiple bigger than that 200 a month where you can drop out anytime. Where, with coaching, it's I'm going to take this serious the next several months and I want to be assigned someone that keeps me on that path that I'm agreeing to.
Mhm.
And I want to get to point X and we mark it. And
Right.
like, this is where we're heading. Anything
Exactly.
that takes us off that path, we're going to brush that out to the side. And,
Yep.
things that can make us go faster in that direction, we're going to bring it in. So
Mhm.
it's a much tighter, and I'm proud of the fact. I mean, our coaching program in the industry, I was having a conversation with someone else who's been in this for, 20 plus years just today before I got on this call with you, Ryan. And I was saying, man, I think we've built the best coaching program in the industry. And he said, oh, hands down. Yeah, you guys have. I
Wow.
mean, everyone knows that. Like, this guy knows the industry. He's not part of what we
That's
do around
awesome.
here, just another guy in
Yeah.
the industry. But the
Yeah.
reputation we have, and you do something with excellence for 15, 16 plus years,
Mhm.
the reputation's out there.
Yeah.
I'm proud. I think we've coached. The number Nathan shared with me was, it may be a little higher, a little low, but it's approximately 7,000 students at this point,
Wow.
which is
Oh
just
my
incredible.
gosh.
That's just incredible, the number of students that we've coached. And I'm proud of the fact that you can dig for days and you're not going to find anyone out there going, yeah, I took their coaching and it was terrible. Like, you're not going to find anybody. You're going to only find success stories.
Yeah. That's
People
awesome.
who, have we've worked with them and we work with them when they need us. And I just, you and I were talking earlier and I got a text from one of our students from 6 years ago. It's like, hey, Jim, can we talk? I'm like, yeah, I'm here for you. I do my best to be, those are the people that take what we do very seriously. And that's kind of how you are with Legends Group. You're there for them. That's your tribe. And I love that I'm almost a stranger when I go to a Legends event. It's like, I'm just another one of the people here. They're there. They're not there to see me or even you. That's like, these are my people. It's like a family reunion, right?
Exactly.
And it's just such a neat, tight group. So there's good options in both directions. And there's no reason you shouldn't do both.
Sure.
I mean, I think both are such a tremendous investment. I think there's a lot of people in Legends that should consider coaching. There's a lot of people in coaching, like, why aren't you in Legends? There's benefits there that you can't get
Yeah, that's right.
from just one or the other.
Yeah. No, totally agree. It kind of depends on where you feel like you need to be and what you need in your business and how fast you need to get there, the level of investment that you have. And so it's,
Yeah.
we're
And if you
there.
don't have those relationships, Legends is an obvious choice.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like you're moving with decent velocity towards where you want to be, coaching is a good choice. And there's plenty of people that are lacking both of those right now.
Yeah.
I'm not moving at good velocity where I want to be going. And I'm not surrounding myself with quality people that can spur me on. One of the things
It's not
we're
like there's there's a lot of overlap too. A lot of the, some of our coaches are Legends members. A lot of our coaches are Legends members. Like before we allowed it to, till we merged some of it. But even before that, like Larry and Sue Pruitt, who run our whole retail arbitrage coach, they were in Legends before they became a coach, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. Yeah.
There's overlap there, and because we got great people. So
yeah, there is a lot of overlap. Well, anything else that you want to share that comes to mind if we're helping people make the decision, is Legends for me or is coaching for me, or should I do both or should I do neither? Let's maybe talk to the people that don't need either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't just a big pitch fest. We've got a lot of success stories. Some of my favorite success stories are just people who say, hey, I listened to your free content
on the podcast.
Yeah. Some of the, I took the $1 trial, got in, got out.
Sure.
And just from what I picked up, I've built an incredible business. Those people are out there.
Yeah, I mean, this business is not that difficult. I mean, you just get an Amazon account set up or eBay account or whatever account that you're going to sell on, find some stuff that you can flip for a profit. That's pretty much the gist of it. If
Yeah.
that be Walmart or around your home or at a garage sale, at a thrift store or neighbor's house, it doesn't really matter. That's the main thing. I mean, there's a lot of things we teach to help people grow that, but that's the basics of it. And you're right. Somebody could literally just listen to every podcast episode and probably build a serious business. As you said, there are people that have not
Yeah.
even have to spend a penny with us. And that's fine. That's still a success story for us. That tells you how good our free content is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine how good our paid stuff is. That's what I
Right.
always say, right? When someone says, "Hey,
Right.
I just used your free stuff to build a great business."
Right.
Well, imagine how good our free stuff is, how much quicker you could have got there.
Absolutely.
And it is a simple model to explain. All
Yeah.
business is based on one of two models,
Mm-hmm.
either moving product from point A to point B,
Right.
low perceived value
Mm-hmm.
or actual value to a place of high perceived or actual value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're inventing something that people
Yeah.
can buy, consume, use a service. You're using your hands or you're using your feet. That's the old Hebrew
Yeah.
analogy, right?
That's right.
All business is simple. It's
Yeah.
just like one of my favorite math teachers ever said, "We're going to get into some pretty advanced math in this class, guys, but I need you to
Uh-huh.
remember something. All math you will ever do in your entire life is addition and subtraction. That's all numbers can do is go up or
Yeah.
down. They can't go sideways. They go up or
Right.
down.
That's
That's
true.
all math is." And I was like, that's pretty cool. That's
So
all
why am I
business
in this
is.
trig class?
Right. Yeah. Like it all still reduces down to math. If it's math, it's
Right.
going up or it's going down. That's all math. I
Right.
love the simplicity of it. And that's all business is. That's all these models that we teach are. It's
Mm-hmm.
creating value for your customer.
Right.
Buy it for price X, sell it for price 3X.
Mm-hmm.
But the systems and the techniques and the confidence and the
Right.
even the attitude, the mindset issues you're going to run into. And
Yes.
one of the big
Confidence.
ones we don't tackle this a whole lot, but one of the big advantages you're going to see, maybe you have the unfortunate history of having been educated pretty much any public system around the world, unfortunately, at
Mm-hmm.
this point, where business is kind of frowned on. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, we put up with it. It's kind of necessary, but being too successful is a bad thing. And we're never really told at what point do you cross that line into now
Right.
you're a bad guy. It's like,
Right.
when did that happen? Wait, all I did was grow my business, hire a bunch of people and make customers happy. And suddenly I
Right.
crossed this line at some point. Like, when
You're
did
part of the 1%. Oh no.
yeah, you're part of that, whatever that evil, it's always the people who make more than you. Notice it's never people in
Right.
my income category that are the bad guys. It's
Exactly.
people who make slightly more than me that are the bad guys, right?
Right.
But no one tells you where those lines are exactly. And it can
Mhm.
be confusing. And one of the dangers of that is anytime we're involved in something that we don't see as virtuous, this is just human psychology. It's biblical too.
Mhm.
All truth is, I believe, founded in biblical truth. But modern psychology tells us if you're involved in an activity that you find lacking virtue internally somewhere, you're going to self sabotage.
That's right.
You're going to find ways to not succeed. You're going to
Mhm.
find ways to not cross over whatever that invisible line is that you've been told. So you're one of
Right.
those people. It won't happen for you.
Right.
So one of the values of being part of a group like Legends is
Mm-hmm.
being surrounded with people who are like, cool, you went to that next level. Well, that's awesome. Guess what? You're just starting your journey, buddy.
You're not a bad guy.
Yeah, not only are you not a bad guy, you're getting ready to change. The truth we embrace is it's impossible to succeed in business
Mhm.
without dramatically improving the lives of countless other individuals around
That's
you.
right.
It's
That's right.
impossible.
Yeah.
Even if you're doing it with a grumpy, evil intent,
Mhm.
it's impossible to succeed in business
Yeah.
without dramatically improving the lives of countless individuals around you.
So true.
So you get yourself surrounded with people thinking that way,
Mhm.
and suddenly you can have a different mindset.
Yep.
And you can start to shift into
Yep. And
that.
that's the benefit of the community. So somebody could
Mhm.
listen to your podcast and build a business, but we know the most successful people are those that are in community with us. So true.
I just don't know those lone wolf stories of people succeeding.
Mhm.
And the people who do try to do it that way inevitably burn out, flame out,
Yeah.
text us, lonely, a little broken, a little sad, a little disappointed. It's like, well,
Yeah.
who are you hanging out with? Who are you spending time
Right.
with? Right?
That's
That
so
old,
true.
tell me who you hang out with, I'll tell you your future kind of analogy.
That's right. Oh my gosh. That's
We
so
could do
true.
a whole episode on that.
Yeah, you could.
There's only a couple questions we need to ask you. One of them is, who are you hanging out with? Who's inspiring you?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have the income. What does that saying? Your income reflects the 5 people you hang out with the
Yep.
most, the average of,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yep.
come hang out with some successful people if you want to make more money, right?
Exactly
Well, what
right.
else
You
comes to
asked
mind? Give you the microphone for a few minutes as we start to wrap this
Well,
one
you
up.
asked like what somebody could do if they're trying to figure out which path to go down. I'd say,
Yeah.
if you're thinking about coaching, literally just get on a call and just start talking to them. I mean, they're not going to be like hard selling you saying, hey, if you're a loser, if you don't sign up here, they're going to figure out if this is a fit for you. And so just give them a call if you think coaching is something that you'll know after you get on a call with them. They'll help you figure out if this is the right move. If you're thinking about Legends, literally for $1, you can try it out for 30 days and jump into material and consume anything and everything. And if you get out, that's fine. We have a lot of people that try us out and decide, hey, I can't make that commitment right now, or just I'm not ready for it right now, or for whatever reason they drop out, and that's totally fine. And you're welcome back anytime. Glad to have you, but I would just say just try it. Get in community, whether that's with Legends or MST or other communities. You got to do this. If you do this together, you're going to get there faster. So,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because what is that old African proverb? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, take a team. But
yes.
I'm thinking you can go fast and far with a team in this business because we
Yeah.
can do so much now virtually.
Yes, you
You need
can.
it, but you need a team. If you're going to try to go alone, you're gonna end up going fast in the wrong direction.
Mhm.
And you
Yeah.
mentioned the phone number. I just thought since we said it, we might as well put it
Yeah.
into the recording. I don't know. I like never read the phone number for
I
a
know. I
coaching
don't know what it
office.
is.
I'll just say, hey, go to Silent Jim. There's a link there, but it's 800-994-1792. I had to look it up. That's how infrequently I give that number out. But that's a US, during business hours in the US, there's someone there answering the phone, and I just have a conversation. Like you said, Ryan, it's not a
Yeah.
high pressure thing at all. We
No,
only
not
want
at
to
all.
work with people who are positioned to succeed. That's how we've had thousands of students without any complaints, is we
Right.
say no to a lot of students who aren't a good
Yeah.
fit. We say, hey,
Exactly.
go get yourself positioned well for
Mhm.
this before you
Yeah.
start.
That's right.
Hmm. Well,
Absolutely.
anything else before we wrap this one up? I think this was good. I think it was very, transparent, which I love. I love that
Yeah.
word. It's just two guys talking from their heart. We love what we
Mhm.
do. Um,
Yeah.
I know
I would
you.
say just that the opportunity, like you said before we started recording, is
Mhm.
there's great things going on in our community. There's so much opportunity everywhere, and just take advantage of it. Do something. Take action. Don't let this time slide by. Jump in, build a business, because there's so many people doing it, and we'd love to have you and love to help you.
That's right. Yeah, the greatest time, and you've got a great podcast as well, Ryan. Let's tell people about that here in a second. How
Sure.
they can go check
Yeah, it's
that out.
just
But I've
called
heard,
streams of income,
yeah,
and I've had a lot of people from mutual friends on there. You've been on there a few times, and I just love helping people helping people build multiple streams of income. And obviously, there's a lot of e-commerce content on my podcast, but I go into topics about how to write a book, create a course, how to take that thing that you're passionate about, that knowledge that you have, and turn it into another stream of income beyond what you're currently doing. Because people will pay you for that knowledge, and it's fun to. Some of, I guess, have been a lot of fun doing that podcast. I've been since August of 2019 now, so
wow,
do it every week.
it's been a while. I feel like you just started that a few months ago, but time
Yes, it's
flies.
gone really fast, but yeah, I'm having fun with it. Just doing it consistently.
Yeah, the theme of opportunity, and uh, just now, and I've heard you say on your show, and I echo and agree that right now is the best time in human history
Hmm.
to be alive if
That's right.
you want to build a business.
Yep.
It's inarguable. There's so much opportunity out there.
There is. And that also can be bad because it can be overwhelming. Like, where do
Yeah,
I begin?
help
Yeah.
me. Again, we're back to taking that tour through Opportunity Land.
Yeah.
Do you want to go with a group? Do you want to go
Yeah.
with a single coach? We can get you there, but let's figure out what's good for you. And that's one
Yep.
of the reasons we're so excited about the replens model. Is that's the default,
Yeah.
scalable, predictable. We can get
Yeah.
you some money, and we can get this thing rocking, and you can tag onto that whatever else you want to tag on later. But let's
Right.
start putting some money in the bank and prove that this whole opportunity is legit. That's where we're so
For
bullish
sure.
on that, and that's where we
Yeah.
spend a lot of time in Legends and in the bigger group
Exactly.
proven Amazon course talking about replens. And
Yeah.
it's just such an exciting model right now.
Yeah.
Um,
And no matter what topic we talk about, or no matter what business model we talk about in our community, none of them cost a ton of money to get started. You literally can a lot of the stuff we talk about is $0. You can start a business.
That's
And
right.
so there's no risk. It's not like the old days where you go to a bank, have a business plan and borrow 200,000. Like, I hope this works, or because otherwise I'm going to lose my house. My wife's probably going to leave me. Um,
Yeah.
None of this is that high risk at all. And
Yeah.
that's what's beautiful about it is
That's
literally
right.
you can kind of dip your toe in the water. And if you're so many people in our community have never ran a business before, me included, before I met you, I had never ran a business. And so you are kind of doing this as a hobby and they're like, wow, I'm making money. And then it turns into a business. So you can kind of start slow and try this out. And, but again, it's never leveraging your future or mortgaging
That's
your
right.
house to try to make any of this work.
And that's one of the things that makes now the best time in human history
Yeah.
to launch or grow a business is
Right.
because of that. The risk
Yeah,
factor is just so low. So,
it is.
maybe one of the tips we can leave people with as we start to wrap this one up is if you're listening to anyone who's talking to you about launching and growing a business and they're wanting you to spend a whole lot of money early on in that process, it may work out great. That's fine. That's the way business has worked for thousands of years. Launching a
Sure.
business meant great sacrifice and putting relationships in your house and your finances at risk. So,
Right.
and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But
Right.
to Ryan's point, that's not necessary any longer.
Right. It's
These
not.
tiny, tiny tests and these little
Mhm.
experiments and
Yeah.
these inexpensive courses, we
Yeah.
chopped the price of everything that we offer around here
Mhm.
off at the knees when COVID struck.
Right.
We said, we don't want price to be the issue. So we offer very few things that are even above $100, let
Right.
alone multiple thousands.
Right.
Coaching is probably the most expensive thing we have, but you look at all the people that are involved and all the one-on-one attention you're going to get and all the resources you're going to get, it's still a steal. But
Yep.
I want to talk to those people that we were just addressing as we wrap this up.
Mhm. Sure.
Don't spend a dime with us if you're skeptical. Don't buy a course. Don't buy the $1 trial, even. Just consume our free stuff. Get into our free Facebook group. Spend some
Yeah.
time there. Go to some Lisa Live Tuesday night events
Yeah.
where Lisa Larson jumps in and just free content and
Yeah.
just consume some of the free stuff. And we've had literally hundreds and hundreds of people tell us just the free stuff in the My Silent Team Facebook group. Again, there's a
Mhm.
link at silentjim.com
Yeah.
is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Just the free, just prove it to
Sure.
yourself first.
Yeah.
So if you're a little skeptical, you want to feel your way through this, don't spend any money with us. Just be part of this incredible community of business building warriors. We will love you just as much as someone who's been around and doing things. We're not going to have as much time to interact with you one-on-one because we save that for the people who are serious about their
Mhm.
investment in themselves.
Mhm.
That's our
Mhm.
coaching students and people that have invested. That's who
Mhm.
we spend our time with because we know they're serious. But if you're not sure how serious you are yet, or you just want to check us out, or
Yeah.
you feel like, yeah, hey, we're not quite there yet, I'm trusting you guys. Check
Yeah.
out our free stuff. Spend some
Yeah.
time.
Get your book.
Weeks or
Get the Silent
months.
Sales
Yeah.
Machine.
Yeah. Or your book, right? It's on Amazon.
Mhm. Streams of
Multiple
income. Yep.
streams of income. Ryan Reger, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
We'll stick out in the show notes too.
Okay.
But yeah, this is a good episode. Good hanging out with you,
Yes,
getting caught
absolutely.
up a little bit. And man, let's hope that live events start happening again soon. I
Yes.
know the Legends group is
Amen.
dying for it. Our
We
community's, our
are.
bigger community's dying for our big conference, annual proven conference.
Yes.
We're going to make it happen, man. But
Let's do it.
all right, buddy.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for
God
having me
bless you,
on.
Ryan. Yeah, great to have you. And to the listeners, the business building warriors that hung out with Ryan and I for a few minutes today, God bless you guys. You're in
Yes.
our prayers. We're here for you. We're in your corner. In our world, you are not a bad guy for succeeding in
That's
business.
right.
You are actually a cultural hero
Yeah.
because the world needs successful marriages, families, and
Yes.
businesses. For our culture to
right.
function, we need those things. And you are a hero and a warrior for taking flack,
Right.
for doing
Mhm.
those things well. And we're here for you. We're in your
Yep.
corner. All right. So
We
God
are.
bless him. Right.
God
All
bless.
right, Ryan. We'll do another episode again real soon. Thanks for the
All
update
right.
today. All the
You're
listeners,
welcome.
we'll be back again with another show soon.